The ROMANTICS'S downfall. In the picturesque countryside of Finland, where the forests stretched endlessly and the lakes shimmered like mirrors under the midnight sun, there lived a young man named Elias. He was poor, but his heart was rich with dreams and a love for life that knew no bounds. Elias worked as a carpenter, crafting beautiful furniture from the birch and pine that surrounded his small village. His hands were calloused, but his soul was tender, and he often found solace in the beauty of nature and the poetry he wrote in his spare time. One summer evening, as the sun dipped low on the horizon, painting the sky in hues of gold and pink, Elias attended the annual midsummer festival in the nearby town. It was there that he first saw her, Helmi, the daughter of a wealthy merchant. She was radiant, her laughter like the tinkling of bells, her eyes as blue as the deepest Finnish lakes. Elias was captivated, and though he knew the chasm between their worlds was vast, he could not help but fall in love. Helmi, too, was drawn to Elias. She had grown weary of the superficiality of her privileged life and found Elias's sincerity and passion refreshing. They began to meet in secret, stealing moments together in the forest, where Elias would read her his poems and Helmi would share her dreams of a life beyond wealth and status. Their love blossomed like the wildflowers that dotted the Finnish meadows, delicate yet resilient. But their love was not without its challenges. Helmi's father, a stern and pragmatic man, was furious when he discovered their relationship. He forbade Helmi from seeing Elias, threatening to disown her if she disobeyed. Yet, Helmi's heart was steadfast. She defied her father and, in a small, intimate ceremony by the lake, she and Elias were married. The villagers whispered about the unlikely union, but Elias and Helmi were too consumed by their love to care. For a time, they were happy. Elias built them a modest home on the edge of the forest, and Helmi, though unused to such a simple life, found joy in the little things, the warmth of the fire Elias lit each morning, the scent of pine that filled their home, and the quiet moments they shared under the stars. But as the seasons changed, so too did their relationship. Elias's love for Helmi was all-consuming, his romantic nature bordering on obsession. He wrote her countless poems, filled with declarations of eternal love and devotion. He showered her with gifts, though they could scarcely afford them, wildflowers he picked from the fields, hand-carved trinkets, and even a small silver ring he had saved for months to buy. But his gestures, though heartfelt, began to feel suffocating to Helmi. She longed for the freedom she had once dreamed of, but Elias's love was a gilded cage. As the years passed, Elias's romanticism grew more intense. He became jealous of anyone who spoke to Helmi, convinced that they might steal her away. He spent less time working and more time trying to prove his love, neglecting the practicalities of life. Their savings dwindled, and their home fell into disrepair. Helmi, once so full of life, grew weary and distant. She tried to talk to Elias, to make him see that love alone could not sustain them, but he was blind to her struggles. One winter's night, as the snow fell softly outside, Helmi finally reached her breaking point. She told Elias that she could no longer live this way, that his love, though beautiful, had become a burden too heavy to bear. Elias was devastated. He begged her to stay, promising to change, but Helmi knew that his nature was too deeply ingrained. With tears in her eyes, she left, returning to her father's house and the life she had once tried to escape. Elias was shattered. He wandered the forests aimlessly, his heart heavy with grief. He stopped writing poetry, stopped carving, stopped living. The villagers tried to help him, but he was lost in a world of his own making, a world where love had been his everything, and now there was nothing. In the end, Elias's romanticism, which had once been his greatest strength, became his downfall. He died alone in the small home he had built for Helmi, surrounded by the remnants of a love that had consumed him. The villagers buried him by the lake, where he and Helmi had once been so happy, and though his life had ended in tragedy, they remembered him as a man who had loved too deeply, too fiercely, and too completely. And Helmi? She moved on, marrying a man of her father's choosing, but she never forgot Elias. Sometimes, on quiet evenings, she would walk by the lake and remember the young man who had loved her with all his heart. And she would wonder if things might have been different if only he had loved her a little less. The story The Romantics' Downfall explores profound philosophical lessons about love, balance, and human relationships. Key takeaways include: 1. Excessive love can be destructive, turning into obsession and harming relationships. 2. Balance between emotion and reason is crucial for healthy relationships. 3. Respect for individual freedom is essential. Love should enhance, not restrict, freedom. 4. Realism in love is necessary, as idealized romance often lacks sustainability. 5. True love involves sacrifice, not possession, prioritizing the other's happiness. 6. Human nature is complex, and love alone cannot fulfill all needs. 7. Healthy love fosters growth, while obsession leads to self-destruction. 8. Effective communication is key to resolving conflicts and strengthening bonds. 9. Love is not enough. Relationships require effort, understanding, and adaptability. 10. Sacrificing everything for love may not always lead to happiness. 11. Happiness is temporary, and relationships must be managed wisely. 12. True love focuses on the other, not just oneself. Ultimately, the story reflects on the delicate balance required in love, emphasizing understanding, sacrifice, and realism for meaningful relationships.